Hey guys, it's Mike. Welcome to Cooking Without a Full Pantry. Today I wanted to try something here that I saw on another video. I was watching First We Feast, where they eat all the spicy hot wings. And they had on Terry Crews.
Oh! Stay on top.
He was talking about a bread pudding that he makes at home that sounded so delicious and looked so nice when they showed how to make it. I just wanted to give it a try. So we're gonna give it a try here. We got some French bread right here. We're going to basically follow the recipe that Terry Crews laid out with a few different alterations because we don't have all the stuff that he was mentioning. And we just wanna try a few different things to show where you can change things up and still keep the spirit of the recipe. So we're gonna open up this French bread and get to work. So this French bread here is still pretty fresh. It's about a day old, but it's not been sitting out on your counter a day old. So it's still kind of moist and spongy. We want it nice and dry. And so to help this along, since I don't want to wait an extra day, I chopped it into slices here. We're going to put those into a bowl here. I'm going to set that out in the garage. Right now it's cold, there's dry air. So I'll leave it set out there about an hour and we should have nice and dried out bread, which is exactly what we need for this. Another thing I'm going to do is these slices are nice to get the air moving through there, draw out the moisture, but the next other thing that's nice is to rip it. So I'm just going to take these pieces, rip it up. We've increased the surface area by quite a bit here. And surface area is what you do want if you want something to dry out. So I'm just gonna rip these up a little bit. It'll also help when we're mixing everything together before we put it in the oven. Having the more surface area on the edges, it's gonna help it soak up the stuff a little bit better. This is another important kitchen tool. I wouldn't have dared to put that bowl of bread out there in the garage if we didn't have an excellent mouser. I know there's no mice out there. 100%. If you haven't seen the Hot Ones episode with Terry Crews, definitely go and check that out. It's an awesome show, and Terry Crews is such an inspirational and likable guy. For the egg mixture, we're starting off with 6 eggs, like Terry said. I hope 6 isn't an exaggeration, because we're going all in. Next comes half a cup of milk. We'll just pour that in there. And then a half cup of sugar. Now Terry's version had raisins, orange juice, cinnamon, and vanilla. We're going a different direction with blueberries, so instead of vanilla, we're going to do 1 teaspoon of lemon extract. Now whisk all that together really well. Here's where things get nuts. So we're melting down a whole cup of butter. Then we'll drizzle that over everything. We did find that this was too much butter. At the end of the baking time, we still had a pool of butter sitting at the bottom of everything. I had to drain some out of the pan and bake for another 10 minutes. Next time we'll probably cut that in half. Next we'll add 1 cup of frozen blueberries. We had these in the freezer. If you have fresh blueberries, you can use those too. But don't be afraid of any kind of frozen fruit. Here comes that egg mixture we made earlier. It gets poured over everything. You want to try and get it everywhere. You don't want any dry bread left. Let that soak in for a few minutes, and then put it in the oven at 350 for 45 minutes. Now for the glaze. Start with 1/4 cup of butter. Best to do this right after taking the bread out of the oven or when there's just a few minutes left. 2 tablespoons of sugar next. Hot Ones didn't show any sugar in the glaze, but I gotta assume there's some sugar in it. Then instead of the orange juice, we're going to do some blueberry juice, about a 1/4 cup. Stir that all up and let it bubble until it's nearly thick enough. Then remove it from heat. Here's the beautiful bread, fresh out of the oven. Now we'll spoon our glaze on over the bread. We bubbled ours a bit too thick, but it still tasted great. If you don't want the glaze, you could also just sprinkle the top with some sugar after you pull it out of the oven. Or do both. Here's the finished product, ready for a taste test. And here it is. This is the Terry Crews bread pudding. Of course, altered with blueberries instead of raisins, and a few different things along the way. But man, look at that. It's nice and crisp on the top part, the bread, and down below it's just soft and gooey and moist. It's so beautiful. So I can't wait to try this. Oh man. Woo, that is so good. Yeah, the bottom part of the bread is just moist and delicious. The top part's super crunchy, and the blueberry glaze on top, so good. Just buttery and delicious. The lemon extract definitely comes through. That's it's not overpowering, but it's definitely there in a big way, and it plays really nice with the blueberries. One way to kick this a notch further. There we go. Oh man. Excellent. Thank you, Terry Crews. That was wonderful. Definitely try this at home. You can swap out a few of the ingredients just like we did, but it's so good, so worth it. Looking forward to that carb coma. All right. Thanks for joining us again. I'm Mike. I'll see you next time on Cooking Without a Full Pantry.